Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So today's video is going to be about the whole cancel season we're in with canceling people. A lot of people are getting canceled for a variety of reasons. We have racist tweets popping up. We have, sexual assault. We have plagiarism, scamming, all types of shit. So we're going to start with a woman named B.Simone. I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with her. I'm not even really familiar with her, honestly. I remember seeing her on Wild 'N Out a few times, and from there, I think she became like a Instagram influencer or something like that. And she's wrote a whole book about self-help and manifesting your dreams and blah blah blah. Apparently, that book was plagiarized. No surprises there. We are in a society where a lot of people aren't doing research anymore. We see something online, we see a personality online, and we just take everything that they say for, facts and run with it. You guys have started to look up to people who really are just like you and I, just regular people, and they just were able to concoct a better scam than the next person, honestly. So anyway, back to B.Simone. Apparently she has like a cheap makeup line, and like I said, she did the whole manifestation book. Recently she was all over the news for saying that she couldn't date a person with a regular 9 to 5. She needs a entrepreneur, she called it. So I'm not sure what part of entrepreneurship is plagiarizing people's books and writings and whatnot. And also, I heard her makeup is like from Alibaba or something, AliExpress, and she orders it and rebrands it. To each their own. I'm all for a person having a hustle, having that drive. Because even a scammer needs a certain amount of drive and have to set goals to achieve their level of fraud that gets them to a point where they're self-proclaimed millionaire. I guess she said she made her first $1 million. I don't know, but again, I'd like to see people who are willing to grind and do what they have to do. So I'm all for ordering stuff on Alibaba and rebranding. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. Me personally, I'm an avid shopper, and I pay attention to that type of stuff. I only trust notable vendors when it comes to ordering online, because you never know what you want to get. I'm very mindful of products that's coming from overseas and what have you. So yeah, but to each their own. So I'm not knocking that part of her hustle. That's fine. She rebrands stuff, resells it, makes a profit. A lot of people do it, to be honest. A lot of the hair, the wigs, even the furry slippers are so popular in the hood. Those are all, people are just buying stuff and repurposing it, repackaging it, and selling it. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I guess that does take a certain amount of entrepreneurial spirit. I won't call that scamming in itself, because it's not. It's just hustling. But the scamming part comes into play when you take someone's book. For all we know, this is this woman's life's work. And you don't just use it for inspiration, chop it and screw it. Like, you literally copy and paste word for word graphs, charts, and what have you. It's just unbelievable. And the fact that it took this long for people to even see that it was all false is comical to me, because, like I said, I'm a person, when I invest in certain things, I do my research, and I'm sure people who are really into self-help and, manifesting your dreams and what have you, you would already have come across the real book, to be honest. So I'm not sure how that worked, where she was able to get away with copying and pasting someone's work and dreams. It's really sad. Really, to me, it's kind of pitiful. Because if you really are talented in your own right, you don't have to steal other people's work, and you don't have to copy other people. You can be inspired. Nothing's wrong with inspiration and, getting a great idea from someone and using it to help you finish a project that you already in your mind may have started, but you're like, I can't really go over the top. And then you kind of see something, like, oh, I want to, you know what I mean? But never, plagiarism is never the way. You never copy and paste people's words, their work, for a profit. It's just not right. It's kind of, like I said, it's pathetic in my opinion. So to me, she's rightfully canceled because she's a fraud. There's a difference between being a hustler and being a fraud and being a scammer. Hustling is the makeup that's rebranded, repurposed. You're flipping it, making a profit. That's fine. People do it all the time with the slippers, they hit the weed, whatever the case may be. So who cares if you're repurposing? If people don't know good quality makeup when they see it and they can't tell something's cheap and somebody's stuck a label on it, then that's their money to waste. But when you get to the point of plagiarizing people, stealing, you're basically a thief. You're a liar, you're a fraud, you're someone who's willing to do whatever just to basically how to do anything for clout. I mean, you're so hung up on this fame. They always, the saying is the price of, what is the price of fame? People are willing to do anything now to go viral, to get a like, to get a view. It's crazy. And again, the public has to take responsibility on what you're willing to consume and what you're willing to believe. If you're not willing to do your own research on things and you take everything that people say as fact and you don't need any proof and you run with it, then you kind of get what you get. It's on you. You don't have really anyone to blame but yourself. So while you're canceling her, also look in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I so gullible? Why do I believe everything on the internet? Why do I question facts, but fiction I'm willing to just run with? Because a lot of times people tend to give the side eye to the real stories and the cold hard facts and truth. But these conspiracy theories, these lies, these plagiarized books, scripts, songs, a lot of people are just copying other people's work and nobody bats an eye at it. It's just amazing to me. And she's also come under fire for some tweets and podcasts she's done. That's neither here nor there. I don't get into all that as far as, disparaging words people may use. We're all adults. She said what she said. Cancel her or not, that's up to you. But a fraud is a fraud and a scam is a scam. So be mindful of what you invest your money into and who you throw your support behind. There's a lot of real, entrepreneurs out here who are really doing it from the muscle and who are really gifted and come up with their own work and have their own ideas. They don't have to steal from people. Those are people you should really support, not people who are just doing it the easy way and just sitting back watching others and running with their whole thing, lack of a better word. So yeah, so we're off of her. She's a scammer, a fraud. It is what it is. Like I said, me personally, I've never, followed her like that. So I was never really impressed because I feel like a lot of people get online these days and preach to everyone. And they're fucked up people in real life, in reality. And, she's sitting up at 3 a.m. stealing and calling it entrepreneurship and working hard and grinding. So come on, those are the people you admire. So hey, reflection. Look at yourself and wonder why you are so easily impressed by the smallest things and not willing to see what's right in front of you. You can't see a lie when it's right in front of you. You can't see a thief when they're right in front of you. You have to question yourself in that. Next, we're going to move on to Jimmy Kimmel, the late night host, comedian, whatever you want to call him. He's currently being canceled for, I believe, I don't know if it was stand-up comedy or a sketch he did or whatever the case may be. I want to say it's from like the 90s or whatever, before he really was put on. He did blackface. I want to say it was like a Charles Barkley impression or something like that. To me, the whole blackface thing is a slippery slope because me personally, some of it I find funny. I can't sit here and lie and be like, oh my God, they did blackface. They're racist. I can't say that. I don't know him well enough to really know his true intention. Because I know people have done it in the past. Some very notable people have done it on well-known series and shows, and nobody cared. It was funny, and so I don't see why. I understand we're in a whole uprising right now. Racial injustice and what have you, and it's a sensitive time right now to that kind of thing. But at the same time, are we really going to dig through everybody's old garbage and fucking, videos from when they were in college or doing stand up or tweets from 20 years ago? That's a tough one. I can't tell anyone how to feel or how to handle that situation. Me personally, I don't get the big deal about it when it comes to him anyway. Like I said, we have to be careful on a one-size-fits-all approach. I think the punishment has to fit the crime. And if someone's intentions aren't, hateful and to be racist or whatever, I don't think you should put them in the same category as a person who's blatantly racist and blatantly, spitting on black people. And I don't think that he falls in that category. Me personally, like I said, I found it funny. Sue me. I found it funny. I don't give a fuck how else did it. Me personally, I thought it was funny. And I've seen other videos that are funny. I mean, why is it that he's not allowed to do blackface, but a black comedian can put on white makeup and a blonde wig and make a joke? You know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword. We can't really sit here and try to hold certain people to higher standards and say it's okay for one person, what's good for you is not good for me. I don't subscribe to that. Never have, never will. And like I said, unless it's someone who's blatantly racist and you know what their intentions are, they have ill intentions. But someone who's just a comedian who, loves everyone and just was being funny, who gives a fuck? So he's not canceled to me. You guys can cancel him if you choose to. Moving right along, the last, it's actually two people. We have R.Kelly and Bill Cosby. Yeah, whenever I say Bill Cosby, it fucks me up. But these are two people who are canceled, and rightfully so. I mean, R. Kelly, he's a pervert. There's no way around it. People who try to defend him, you have to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I defending a child molester? This is a child molester. You can even find room to defend Bill Cosby because he actually was assaulting grown women, if that makes sense. It's still sexual assault, but these are women who had the choice to come to a hotel or a room and do drugs, drink wine, pass out, and whatever happened. Versus children, teenagers, kids, little girls who are not the age of consent cannot make that type of decision. It's never okay for a grown man to have sex with a child. Grown woman, I have to reword that. It's never okay with an adult to have sex with a child. Male, female, whatever the case may be. And anybody who tries to justify it or defend it is just as disgusting as the person who is committing that. So yeah, rightfully canceled. Bill Cosby, to me, he was canceled a long time ago just because he's always trying to preach to people like he's holier than thou. He was always just a little too arrogant for me. He just seemed to be on a moral high horse and always had disparaging words for young black men instead of, using his fame and his money to say, okay, let me create, an after school program or a mentorship or, something that was positive. It always seemed to be negative, almost like he was always talking at the people, talking down to them instead of talking to them and trying to guide them. He kind of seemed to just be, turning his nose up at the younger generation. So I never really held him in high regard outside of, everybody likes the Cosby Show. We support the Cosby Show for Rudy and all of them people, not for him. Those people have to eat off of it too. So if we want to take money out of their mouth just to hurt him, I don't know about that. But yeah, he's been canceled in my opinion. But the moral of the story is, let's take a breath, sit back and not be so sensitive to every single thing. I saw The Simpsons and Family Guy saying that the voiceover actors were no longer going to do voiceovers. Like if it was a white man doing voiceovers for a black character. I think we're getting extreme now. We're not going to call Master Texas. There was a Texas real estate place saying they were going to call Master Bedrooms anymore. I think we're in an extremely sensitive time, and we have to really just take a moment and calm down. We don't have to cancel every single person for mistakes. Like I said, the punishment has to fit the crime, and we have to really take into account the intentions. Also take into account the person, their heart and soul, their values. Like you really can tell good from bad people. I mean, I can anyway. So if you take that into account, you can just say, okay, the person made a mistake. They were young. It was 20 years ago. It was 10 years ago. It was whatever the case. Instead of sitting here digging up all this dirt on people, because I'm sure if we start looking through your old tweets and Facebook posts, there's some disparaging things that you don't want people to see also. So let's just be mindful of that and just kind of calm down and stop jumping on every bandwagon. It's okay to have a mind of your own. Like me, I have a mind of my own. Like I said, I didn't cancel Jimmy Kimmel. There's a few other blackface performances that were funny to me by other people. But it was always in the name of comedy. I never sat there and laughed at someone that was, you know, doing something disgusting and despicable when it comes to blatant racism. But if someone's doing something in the name of comedy and they're a comedian, that's a slippery slope. So that's my take on it. Said what the fuck I said, and till next time.